Psychological trauma is often misunderstood. It is not just a memory of a bad event. It is an overwhelming surge of stress that exceeds our coping limits. When our systems are flooded, we often resort to emotional suppression as a survival mechanism, keeping the storm locked inside where no one can see it. But these suppressed emotions don't disappear. They manifest in subtle ways, influencing our behavior, our decisions, and how we view the world around us. One of the most surprising signs of unhealed trauma is a deep-seated resistance to positive change. It feels safer to stay in the known shadows. When something good happens, do you find yourself doubting it? Do you feel like you don't deserve happiness or wait for the other shoe to drop? This struggle to accept positive shifts often stems from a past where good things were taken away, leaving a lingering fear of vulnerability and loss. Another common sign is the pathological need to plan. When life feels chaotic, we try to grip onto control with everything we have. Micromanagement isn't just about being organized. It's often a defense mechanism against a deep-rooted distrust of the future and a fear of helplessness. By planning for every possible disaster, we create a false sense of security, hoping that if we control the small things, the big things can't hurt us. Trauma can also manifest as a paralyzing fear of failure. This isn't just standard nerves. It's a weight that stops you before you even begin. Perfectionism becomes a shield. If I am perfect, I cannot be criticized. If I cannot be criticized, I cannot be hurt again. This fear overwhelms ambition and stifles creativity, leaving many people feeling stuck in a cycle of insecurity and missed opportunities. Recognizing these signs is the most critical step. It is the moment you realize that your behaviors are not flaws, but survival strategies from your past. Healing begins with awareness. As you identify these patterns, the weight starts to lift, and the internal storm begins to subside. The path to recovery is a journey, not a destination. By understanding the roots of your pain, you can finally start to build a brighter future. Trauma isn't always a single event. Sometimes it is the accumulation of moments that never felt safe, leaving scars that influence our every decision. The first sign we often ignore is a mysterious fear of success. It sounds counterintuitive, but for some, doing well feels like a trap. When you have experienced loss or abandonment, reaching a peak can feel like you are just waiting for the inevitable fall from a greater height. So you might subconsciously knock the trophy over yourself. It is a defense mechanism sabotaging your joy before anyone else can take it away from you. This pattern shows up as missed opportunities. You see an open door to a bright future, but instead of walking through, you turn and walk away. Another common sign is a persistent difficulty in concentrating. Have you ever felt like your brain is filled with white noise when you try to focus? This cognitive struggle occurs because a part of your mind is still scanned for danger, making it impossible to dedicate full attention to the present task. It can feel like losing time. You find yourself standing in a hallway, forgetting why you entered or realizing minutes have passed while you were staring blankly. The third sign is a deep-seated difficulty in asking for help. To a survivor of trauma, vulnerability can feel like an invitation for further pain. You might want to scream for support, but it feels as though a physical barrier is holding the words back, fearing judgment or rejection. Asking for help means admitting you can't do it alone. If you were mistreated when you were weak before, your brain learns to stay strong and isolated. Perhaps the most painful sign is the tendency towards self-harm or unintended harm toward those we love, most through emotional volatility. An unhealed wound can act like a trigger. A simple comment might feel like an attack, leading to an outburst that pushes people away. The regret is immediate, but the damage is done. This cycle of anger and isolation creates a fortress of loneliness that is hard to break. Recognizing these signs is the first, most courageous step toward healing. You are not broken. You are responding to things that should never have happened. We often think of trauma as a single, explosive event. But sometimes it is a quiet, persistent shadow that follows us into adulthood. It settles into the corners of our lives, manifesting as unexplained sadness or a weight we can't quite name. Do you ever look in the mirror and feel like a stranger? Unhealed trauma often distorts how we see our own worth. For many, these feelings stem from childhood experiences of neglect or abandonment, leaving us feeling small in a world that feels far too large. The mind has many ways of protecting itself. You might experience sudden waves of anxiety or panic that seem to come from nowhere. Sometimes the world feels unreal, as if you are watching your life through a thick pane of glass. This is dissociation, a shield the mind creates. And when the lights go out, the past might return in the form of vivid nightmares or sudden, intrusive flashbacks that feel all too real. But acknowledging these signs is the first step toward reclaiming your light. Healing is not a destination, but a journey you don't have to take alone. Professional help can provide the tools to navigate the fog. Imagine a path clearing ahead of you, leading away from the shadows of yesterday. A door is opening. Behind it lies the peace you deserve and the version of yourself that is whole, resilient, and free. You are more than what happened to you. Tomorrow is a new landscape, waiting for your footprints. Take that first step toward healing today.